Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about Conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host. And Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Wellness Wednesday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about an interesting topic. And today we are talking about it takes a village. It takes a village. And I have three, not one, not two, but three guests tonight. The parents of Boyz To Kings mentoring group. I have three parents from Boyz To Kings mentoring group that are going to talk around this very important topic. They love Boyz To Kings, so they are going to tell us all about it. Coach Merv, who is the founder of Boyz To Kings, was on not long ago. And so they saw his show and reached out and was like, hey, we want to talk about our experience. And so I said, well, let's do it, ladies. Let's do it. So I'm going to introduce each one of them. But before I bring them on, I want to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? If you will, in the comments, put your city and state so we can give you a shout out. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. And we are in the midst of a storm, actually. Hurricane Helene is upon us. And so y'all are getting the hurricane edition of Conversations with Nicole tonight. So we might be a little wet, but we here. All right. And we here to have this conversation. So I see Coach Merv is already in the comments. Let's go, ladies. Change the game. Love it. Tell all the B2K people they need to be on here for this. So tag them. Tell them to like, share. They need to be in the comments with their comments, their questions. Yes, from the big city of Madison, big M, little N. Yes, y'all need to be right here. All right. My mom is here down in Miami. Thank you for being here, Ma. Always supporting what we have going on. And I surely do appreciate it. All right. Well, I know there'll be some more folks that will tune in just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and share the bios of my lovely ladies. So up first is Miss Tinicha Jackson, born and raised in Madison, Florida. She graduated from North Florida Community College with an AS degree in accounting and business management. Her spouse is Jeremy, who she's been with for almost 15 years and married for 10. Collectively, they have 3 children, 2 boys and a girl, but they also have been taking care of her niece and 2 nephews for almost 5 years. And so her nephews have been part of Boyz To Kings for about 10 months. And her hobbies are gardening, reading, and making DIY natural health remedies and products. So y'all help me welcome Miss Jackson. Yay!
Hello.
Hey, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So tell the people, who is Tinicha Jackson? Not what you do. I did share a little bit about your hobbies, but who are you in your own words?
Okay, so I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I love gardening. I'm a wife, a caregiver of 5. I'm very resourceful and I love sharing new stuff with everyone. I love being a healer.
All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Well, I'm so glad you're here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Our next guest is Miss Sandra Strawder. She is a single mom of 5. Age ranges from 26 to 2. She's raising her children with no support from their dad. She lives in Hamilton County in the city of Jasper. She also resigned from her corporate America job in April of this year in order to get her 2-year-old the therapy that and help that she needed due to her having Down syndrome. But she also started her own in-home daycare because there was a need for this type of service for her daughter. So y'all help me welcome Miss Sandra Strawder. Yay!
Yay! Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, welcome, welcome. All right, so tell the people, who is Sandra Strawder? Not what you do, but who are you?
So, like you said, I am a single mom of 5.
Mhm.
I too am an entrepreneur. Not only do I own an in-home daycare, I also do a lot pertaining to health and wellness,
Mm.
removing toxins out of the household. And I know that a lot of that plays a part in everybody's life. But
Mhm.
outside of that, I am a nurturer by nature,
Mm.
helping. And
Okay.
overall, it's all about getting the children the services that they need, not just my daughter, but the boys as well.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you for sharing that, and thank you for being here. All right. And last but certainly not least is Miss Tammy Weatherspoon. She is the mother of 4 beautiful children, 3 girls and 1 son. She's a stay-at-home mom and takes college courses part-time. She's also a lead organizer of a club with some of the parents at Boyz To Kings. And she enjoys spending time with her children, reading and helping others in any way that she can. So y'all help me welcome Miss Tammy Witherspoon. Yay!
Hey,
Hey, welcome, welcome. So tell the people, Miss Tammy, who is Tammy Witherspoon? Not what you do, but who are you?
if I had to describe myself in one word, I would say passionate. I am a passionate person about everything that I do, everything that I say, just who I am in general. I am super. Sometimes it might come off as a little too firm, but deep down inside is really passion. I'm just passionate about it.
Okay.
So that's how I would describe myself.
Wonderful. Love it. Well, thank you all for being here. So again, we giving a shout out to Coach Merv, Boyz To Kings, Boys Mentoring Group, and all of your children, boys, are involved with this organization. And our topic tonight is it takes a village. So when you all hear the words it takes a village, what do you think of? And before you all respond, we got a few more folks that we want to acknowledge. So we got Peach on here. That's my mama. Go to Tanisha. Thank you for being here, Peach. We got Brother Quasi, who is on here in Atlanta. Thank you for being here. And of course, Coach Merv is cheering us on in the background. So thank you, Coach Merv. All right, and we need the rest of the Boyz To Kings fam to come out in these comments. Let us know you here. We need to see you in the comments. All right, all right. So let's start with you, Miss Jackson. When you think of it takes a village, what do you think of?
I think of a support system, somebody that you can lean on, grow with, and also help build up.
Okay, nice.
It's
All right.
someone that you can learn from and find encouragement.
Okay, love it, Miss Strada. What about you?
Um, it's deep because growing up myself, here in Hamilton County, a village was your neighbors, your friends, your family, the
Mm-hmm.
teachers, the bus drivers, everybody who had any type of encounter with that child
Yeah.
is part of the village. So it's not just the immediate family, it's the entire team,
Mhm.
especially Boyz To Kings. And Queen Girls the Queens is coming, y'all.
That's exciting. Okay, thank you for sharing that. What about you, Miss Tammy?
When I think of it takes a village, I think of a support system as well. And I also think of a tribe. That's what I call my people around me. And it's not just family, but it's people that I meet, that I become close to, connect with, and then I call them my tribe because we are now of the same mind, same spirit, and we move the same. So that's what I think of, just the tribe with the same mind and heart.
I love all of those definitions. I'm gonna ask the viewers, what do you all think of when you hear the term "it takes a village"? Let us know in the comments if you don't mind. This is an open dialogue, a safe space for us to communicate with each other. So please feel comfortable to do so. I see Terrell Bowman who has joined us. He's here in Tallahassee, a good friend of mine. Thank you for being here. And Tinicha Strawder, I love it, ladies, from my Boyz To Kings family. Love it. Thank you for being here. All right, so y'all gave some really great definitions of it takes a village, what that means to you all. Tell me how that relates to Boyz To Kings. Whoever wants to go first.
So I can take it first. It relates to Boyz To Kings because of the simple fact that our boys are with the men Tuesday through Thursday. And there's a lot of our boys who's lacking that male figure around the house. So when you have that outlet that steps up and steps in to instill a lot of values and morals for our boys, starting at a young age, as early as 5. So when you have that, that just kind of like put the cherry on top.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, Miss
And I can
Tammy.
go see.
Okay. Go ahead, Miss Jackson.
All right, and then for me, that village and with Boyz To Kings at home, whenever we start something, and then the boys go to Boyz To Kings, and then they're also incorporating that same thing. It's like a backup system. And so just to have that extra support of somebody that's instilling the same thing that you are and that you've been working on, like, yes, like I got that backup. And it's like, it's someone that you can call on when you need help. And not even when you need help, it's just if they need help. And it's just the way that he instills like so much into us, and he cares, he sees us. It's like we also feel important, just important as our kids do. And so just the village as overall, from the top to the bottom, I think that's what sticks out the most.
Nice. Glad to hear that. All right. Miss Witherspoon, you want to contribute to that?
When how it relates to Boyz To Kings for me is I agree with Miss Sandra. It's just extra support. Having my son to be able to see not just Coach Murr because he have a team there, but to see how others do it apart from the way we do it in our household. So, there might be things that I can't teach my son, or I don't even think to teach my son, that the men there, they know about and they bring it to his attention. So I love that. And that's, and it's a lot more other stuff too. Like if I start naming it, this show will go on and on. But I'll say that right there. The fact that they can learn from, my son and the other boys can learn from those men, because it might be something that we might miss as women. Gotcha. And they learning from them.
That's good to know. We got a few comments from the viewers. So Brother Solomon is on. He said different individuals within your community that fulfill roles of blood relatives. This is why we tend to reference non-blood relatives as auntie, uncle, that sort of thing. So do you all get that same type of vibe from Boys to
Yeah.
Kings? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I was talking to Miss Tammy, I told her, I was like, it doesn't feel like you're dropping your kids off to an organization. It feels like you're dropping them off to family, their uncles, their grandma, his
Yeah.
mom, Miss Shirley, his wife,
Yeah.
and the mentors.
Yes.
It's so you feel so comfortable, you can trust them, and I've never had an issue whatsoever.
Nice. Glad to hear that.
Yes.
Glad to
Yes. I agree with that. I agree with that. That's how I feel. And let me tell you, when my son get out of line and they done gave me the floor, call me. Just call me. That's just what I do. I'm calling somebody. Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Terrell said, if the family is the foundation of our young men, the village are the pillars that hold them up and
Mm,
support them maturing in this journey called life. The village encourages, supports, teaches, and holds you accountable to self and community. I agree wholeheartedly. And Terrell and I are part of a village that supports a particular family. We're in that kind of outer layer, but we go to their games or give them rides, or if they have fundraisers, we're there to help them out. So, I definitely knows that, you know, he's not new to this. He's true to this in terms of what he's saying. But I think it's the same thing that you all experience as well with Boys to Kings.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with his message as well. They
Mm.
definitely are the pillars to the organization. I agree with that.
Okay, very good. Miss Sharice, the Boys, who has joined us out of Atlanta. Thank you for being here. So I want to ask you all about the impact that you've seen the village have on the lives of your sons. What
Oh, let me. Oh, do you have somebody specific?
Go ahead, Miss Tammy, go ahead.
Let me tell you. Listen, the impact that the village has had on my son. When I tell you, just saying how much I appreciate the team, I feel like that's not even enough.
Mm,
I want to share this little quick story. I'll tell you this one thing. Um, my son, like whenever I used to have to get onto him, because I don't have to as much as I used to now. But when I used to get onto him before starting Boys to Kings, my son used to look down when I would get onto him.
mm-hmm,
And there was a time that after starting Boys to Kings and learning what he's been learning over there,
mm-hmm,
I was getting onto him one time and he was looking me directly in my eyes.
mm.
And I was and it startled me because I'm like, what? It made me stop in my conversation. Why are you looking at me like that? And he said, well, Coach Merv taught me that whenever someone's talking to you to look them in the eyes.
Mm.
When he told me that, I forgot what I was getting on to him about. It made me change my whole attitude because I wasn't used to him looking me in my eyes. I was always used to him looking down. So when I heard that, I was like, wow. I say that is really deep. Like you actually looking me into my eyes. And I respected him for that as
Yeah.
a young man. And that was the beginning of a change for not only my son, but for myself, because I needed to change as well.
Wow.
So I just wanted to share that. That's how this is just one of the things that they have done. Like I said, I'll go on and on with this show last 20 hours fooling with me.
That's all right. That's all right. No, I appreciate that story. All right. Anybody else want to share the impact that Boys to Kings has played in the lives of your sons?
Yes. So my youngest son, DeAndre, we call him Cheeks.
Okay.
Um, He started at the age of 5. He just turned 6 here in August. He's a hugger.
Okay.
He is a huge hugger, and no matter who it is, he's always wanting to play. So after the first, maybe second session, his playing has scaled back quite a bit because he was always on the push-up bar.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
if you can't sit down, they're going to do something else with you to redirect that energy where you're trying to put it at.
Gotcha.
So he doesn't do as much playing. He does still play because he's a typical toddler, typical child. He just don't do as much.
Okay.
And then with my next to the oldest son, Joshua started when he was 14. He'll be 16 in November. And Joshua didn't used to care about his grades whatsoever. I was to a point to where when I spoke to his counselor, I had told her, I said, we got to do something with Josh, because if not, I'm going to have him arrested and out of my house. I said, but that's the last thing that I will ever do with my son, because I've seen where a lot of our boys end up, even when they don't need to be there. So she said that she had a few places that she would recommend. And I told her, I said, well, just give me the name and the number, and I'll look them up and I'll do my research. And I just so happened to be going to, I made an appointment to actually go out and see the establishment. And as I'm sitting down on our orientation, I was filling out the paperwork at the same time. And Coach Murray was like, ma'am, can you put the pen down? I said, no, because we're not losing this one. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to just go ahead and fill out this paperwork. But they have played such a big part in Joshua, because now he's going for those all A's, because he realized that you can make money by getting all A's. And it's not just from one of the men that's up there, it's from all of them. And he was like, well, you know how much money that is? Yes, son, I know how much money it is. So his grades have improved drastically, because he used to have like a A, a B, a C, and the others were D's and an F. Gotcha. Now he's at A's, B's, and 1 C. I said, son, I'm proud of you, whether you see it or not, because I know what your grades looked like a year ago. So they've made a huge impact in him this time. Like, yeah, we're not losing this one.
Nice. I love that. Yeah, they're doing, y'all are doing the work. Coach Murray's doing the work, and the boys are doing the work. So I love it. Yes. All right. Miss Tinicha.
Yes, I'm gonna reflect off of what. Yes, ma'am. I'm gonna reflect off of what both of them said. Same thing with the boys. They really go for those all A's now because they want them $100. And with the smallest last year, 2 semesters straight, he was 1 point away from having all A's. And each semester, he worked harder and harder to get all A's. So every time I would tell him, I was like, you can do it. You got this. So Coach Merlin was encouraging them. And so every time a child get awarded, they publicly show it. And so that encourages the kids to try even harder. And so the last 2 semesters of school last year, he got it 2 times in a row.
Oh, wow.
And so this year, he inspired his oldest brother to do the same thing. And now my niece will be joining Girls to Queens, and she's already talking about getting those all A's.
Nice.
And with the oldest, he's more accountable now for his actions. He helps around the house a lot. He actually said the other day, he was like, TT, he said, you know, we can't sag and wear our pants down. He said, but I see my Uncle Jeremy had his pants sagging. I said, well, guess what? When he come in the house, tell him about it. And they made sure they tell him about it. And then with the youngest, he has so much energy. And what they said about the military style for that correction of the behavior, he does that. So if he gets in trouble now, he already know. He starts immediately going like, okay, I know I got to hit 100 push-ups or 50 push-ups or whatever it may be. Like he really, and he'll course correct. He'll correct himself. He'll apologize for his behavior, and he makes improvement. And so with the progress reports just coming out, he had a lower grade, and so he was so hurt about that. So just being aware of him not being where he want to be at, they just so much more aware now. And so just seeing those changes with them, and just seeing just in a short amount of time, I'm just excited because 10 months really feel like 10 years. So I'm just excited to see how far it goes and just the improvement through time.
Nice. That's awesome. I am so glad to hear that. And these stories are just so inspiring, because these are things that we don't necessarily hear, so I'm so glad that you all are on here to share your stories with the viewers. So we have a few more folks that have joined us. Miss Brittany, who's here in Tallahassee, Miss Angela, who is also here, and Miss Shantavia, who is here in Tallahassee too. So thank you all for being here. So Miss Brittany said, hey, Miss Nicole and Boyz To Kings family, Boyz To Kings changed my son's life. Oh my goodness, I didn't know really was part of Boyz To Kings. She said, my son Riley came up to me and told me not to worry about a thing. I got you. I said, thanks. He said, look me in my eyes, Mom. Oh, wow.
Yes, that's powerful. That's powerful.
That is very powerful. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that. We got Ishmael in Gainesville on. Thank you for being here. He said inspiring is the word. Yes, thank you. And my cousin Rennie, who's down in South Florida, thank you for being here. Appreciate you. She is an educator down in South Florida. And Mr. John White Duval is in the house. He's in Jacksonville. Appreciate you being here. Brandy Tillman, great jobs. Let's go BTK. Love it. Thank you. BTK in the house. We appreciate it so much. All right, let me change this. There we go. All right, so y'all have talked to me about it takes a village. You talked about the impact. You talked about the definition for yourselves and the impact that it has had on your young men. My next question is around how this has impacted you. How has it impacted you?
Okay, I'll go first again.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So how and I just want you to know that I this is my story. I love to tell it. Not a whole lot of people know me, but some people do. But how it has impacted me is because I would say that I was like I wasn't completely wild, but I was a little wild one. I was a little wild one, and not having a whole lot of guidance myself as a young lady. I would do things differently, and once my son joined Boyz To Kings, and he would come home every day just showing me different sides of himself, showing me that I am now turning into a young man. It made me have to grow up as well. And so I had to put aside the little wildness that I did have. I had to put that aside because I saw my son and I saw who he was becoming. I said, I don't want to mess this up for him. So let me make some changes as well. What is it that I see about myself that I could do to help further push him into the man that he desires to become? And once I started doing that, oh my goodness, I tell you, Boyz To Kings think that they are only for the boys, but yeah, Boyz To Kings team, I need for y'all to hear it. I'm talking about I'm talking about Coach Merv, his wife, his mom, his dad, Mr. Tompkins, his wife. I'm talking about all of them. The moms of Boyz To Kings, the sons of Boyz. I want y'all to know that y'all are also helping the adults as well. We are growing with you in a positive way with you. I know for me, that's what's happening for me. I've made so many changes and they are healthy changes. And I love it in this space. I love it.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. Coach Murray said, man, this is deep, Tammy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now I'm gonna give our other two ladies an opportunity to respond as well to the question, but we are a little more than halfway through our talk, so I want to let those who may have just joined us know that I am on with three of the parents from the Boyz To Kings mentoring group based in Madison, Florida. We're talking about It Takes a Village. And right now we are specifically discussing how Boyz To Kings and the village of Boyz To Kings has impacted their lives personally. My sister has just joined us. She is an educator down in South Florida. Thank you for being here, Shay. And John said, I love me some Black queens. Well, thank you, Brother John. We love you too. All right. So anybody else want to share how Boyz To Kings has impacted their lives?
So I'll do mine real quick. When we first started, I didn't have a challenge on getting my boys to Madison. It's just here recently that we're opening a chapter here in Hamilton County that I've been stubborn on asking the men to take my boys with them to give me some breathing or some wiggle room.
Mm-hmm.
So I have started tapping into them. I might take my boys and I'd be like, hey, while you're here, can you bring them back? And they'd be like, yeah, Miss Sandra, we got you. Okay, cool. I'm going on home or I'm going to church or whatever. But also, there was one particular month that I was challenged to cut back on my cursing. Because if anybody's ever worked for the Department of Corrections here in the state of Florida or any state, and you're working around grown men or men, period, they have you using all kinds of language that you ain't never used before.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tended on still holding on to a lot of that here at my house.
Uh-huh.
But when I was challenged to not curse or not raise my voice for a month, I did it. I struggled though, but I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt so good and it scared my children because they was like, Ma, you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm fine. You hadn't raised your voice. I know. And I didn't tell them why. I just let them think that that was something new I was trying. It really wasn't what I was trying on my own.
Right.
I was challenged. Coach Merv, I appreciate it because that is so much better and so much healthier for me and my household that it just feels so great not using a lot of those terms.
Mm-hmm.
So we're used to it now. We're comfortable with it. We love it now. But before, when it was just coming out here, I mean, I didn't mind just letting it fly wherever because that seemed like the only thing that they understood. Mm-hmm. But then I took a step back and I was like, the only reason that that's what they understand is because that's all I've been doing. So when you give them something new to breathe and to live, then they're able to start reciprocating in a different and a better manner. So a lot of the ways that they respond now is just so much healthier for everybody.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much. My mom just said, wow, we need more of these programs in our communities. Indeed we do, Ma. Indeed we do. All right, Miss Jackson, what you got for us?
Okay, so for me, Boyz To Kings came when I was at my breaking point. I lost my mom. We had some grief, and grief tore my household from top to bottom. From with me to my kids to the very youngest. We didn't know how to handle that, being that my mom was the backbone.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was introduced to Boyz To Kings, the process for Boys and Girls Club, she came to me, the director. She said, "Would you be interested in signing the boys up?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am. I really do need it." And she said, "Well, listen," she said, "I'll do everything for you. All you have to do is show up." So when I went in for my orientation, I knew off top that that's where I needed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so once I got there, went through orientation, being there maybe a couple of months, it was far beyond what I expected, far beyond what I needed at that time, what I would have never imagined. And so for me, very gifted, but I sit on a lot of my talents and I'm always helping others, pushing others, encouraging others. But when I hit my lowest, it was my closest family, friends, Boyz To Kings that lifted me up and pushed me through that along with God. So for me, their impact has been way beyond what words can even explain. So publicly, I say thank you to my village, near and far. I say thank you. The impact is far beyond words. And I didn't tell Coach Merv yet, but I also have been working on some healthcare products behind the scenes. And so he even inspired me to go ahead and start a product line for natural products. So I have a natural product for skincare, and he inspired me to do that.
Love it. Well, congratulations on that. And thank you for sharing these intimate moments and the impact that the organization has made on each one of your lives. Those are such beautiful stories. And again, things that we don't often hear, right? We don't often hear that the parents have things that they need to change about themselves, and that they do change about themselves as a result of being challenged, as a result of seeing the impact that the organization is making in the life of the child and making them want to be a better person as a result of some really difficult times that we have in our lives, and we really need that support, at that time. So thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. All right. Coach Merv said Sandra was voted Parent of the Year. All right. Wonderful. And he said, "Come through, Tinicha. We are going to buy all your products. Let's go." I love it. Look, we got him on record, so we're going to hold him to that. Okay.
Right.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
that's one thing about him. His word is his bond.
His
Whatever he
word.
say he's gonna do it, he does it. He comes through every time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know that Coach Merv does. He comes right on through. He comes right on through. So what are some of the things that you all do within the organization as parents?
Well, I'm now one of the lead with the book club.
Okay.
I do that now. And I also do some of the speaking engagements, like for the principals. The boys have 12 principles that
Okay.
they have to learn and go by or abide by. And so Coach Merv started asking some of the parents to get up and speak at some of those engagements, pick a principal and speak. And so I get up and speak when, if it's one available, I would get up and speak because I'm really working on my speaking in front of other people. So
Okay.
that
So
was something I had a difficult time with, and that's helping me. So those are two things that I do, and attend parent huddles.
okay. All right. So
And,
go ahead, Ms. Strawder.
and then I jump in pretty much wherever is needed as well. I just did this month's principal at our parent huddle
Okay.
that's held on the third Tuesdays of the month.
Mm-hmm.
But I did do that, and then when any of the boys, like my son, they celebrated him for his birthday, and I did the cake and the ice cream. But I was like, if y'all just do that with him, he not gonna look for mama to do nothing else, because this is where he's grown at.
Mm-hmm.
So he enjoyed it, and he didn't say, well, Mom, you got me anything? He didn't even care.
Mm.
So as long as he enjoyed himself, that was what it was all about, is making sure that they still are able to enjoy the festivities that the mentoring group actually put on for them, because they do a lot with them.
Yeah. And what was the word, if you don't mind sharing, or the principle? Okay, never mind.
Well, so I tailored it. It was making wise decisions.
Yeah.
Okay,
We're gonna put it their way, making
yeah,
wise decisions, making
gotcha.
good decisions.
That's
But
good.
I
That's important.
actually brought in about bullying.
Mm.
I put those two together because I know when you start making some not good decisions, that's how a lot of bullying starts.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
not making good decisions. So I put both of them together, because it's a lot of people need to understand that when children are doing it, a lot of times it starts with the adults, because they see the adults doing it.
Right.
So
That part. Yeah.
making
Yeah,
positive decisions.
Right.
absolutely. No, that's good. All right, we got a few more comments. Roz has just joined us. She's here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. Mr. Gregory Turner. Listen here. Greg is how I even met Coach Merv. He connected me to Coach Merv. Yeah, y'all didn't know that.
Oh.
So Greg is a solid dude. He really
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you for being here, Mr. Turner. Appreciate you. Tracy Ford, she said, does Boyz To Kings have other chapter locations? Coach Merv, I'm gonna let you answer that. So put it in the comments. Where any other chapter locations? Let us know. All right, Shirley. Oh, I think this is Coach Merv's wife. Love my Boyz To Kings parents, Shirley Mateer.
That's his mom.
This is Mom. Okay, hey Mom. Thank you for commenting. We appreciate you. Brandy Tillman, making positive decisions. Yes, Coach Merv, making positive decisions was this month's principle. He said you went hard at leading that. Yes, indeed. All right, Miss Lisa just joined us. Hey, Miss Lisa, thank you for being here. All right, let's go. Greg and Coach Merv, the ladies can answer that. Okay. All right. He said y'all can answer that. So Tracy wanted to know, does Boyz To Kings have other chapter locations?
They do. They actually
Yes.
have one in Tallahassee
Okay.
that meets on Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Madison,
And Taylor.
Taylor, and then Hamilton County started their chapter.
All right. So North Florida right now, I think Tracy might be in Atlanta, if this is the same Tracy Ford that I'm thinking of. But Coach Merv is trying to go global, so we'll see. I think he has a chapter in Africa, if I'm not mistaken. He's mentioned that, so he's growing. He's growing. So just hold tight. We're gonna give you his information at the end, so we can get a chapter near you. She said, oh, okay, I'm in Georgia. All right, so yes. All right, so listen, I know we need to replicate this. I have talked to Coach Merv about this, replicating Boyz To Kings, because everybody needs a Boyz To Kings wherever they are.
Yeah.
Y'all agree. Okay, cool. Now tell me about these parent huddles. Somebody tell me about what happens at the parent huddle. Like, I've been to one, but tell the viewers about them.
I'm not gonna go first.
Well, I was trying to see
will.
if Tinicha was gonna go first. Okay, there she go.
All right, Tinicha gonna say something.
Okay, so the parent huddles, we do start with a principal. And so he has given the parents an incentive now. So they get up and they present the principal in their own words. And then now we are giving an incentive. So that's really amazing. But the parent huddles are so uplifting, educational, and it's filled with resources. So you may go in thinking like, "Oh, I just got off work. I don't want to go in." But when you leave there, you was like, "I'm glad I came." And it was one back in December, I had surgery, and I was like, "Dog, I gotta miss it." But I was like, I looked and I seen, I was like, "No, I gotta go. I can't miss it." So even with having surgery, I went. So I was like, no matter what, every month I go. Like I haven't missed one since I joined. So it's really inspiring, uplifting, and very resourceful.
Okay. Very good. Love that. Love that. Love that. So now I was my understanding that there are points that are given for attending the parent huddles to the boys.
Yes.
Okay. How does that work?
I think they get if I'm not mistaken, 100 points just for us showing up. And that will allow our sons to be on king status. If they make all of their sessions, just us showing up one time a month for 1 hour will put them on king status. That's all it takes. You don't even have to do nothing. You don't have to do much, I'll say. But
Okay.
show up and learn what your son is actually doing inside of Boyz To Kings.
Gotcha. So what are the points? What are the points good for?
So the points, they actually get 300 points, and then our additional 100 points put them on king status.
Okay.
And that allows them to partake in a lot of the distant field trips and NFL games. I mean, it's where they can go be kids with the men, and the men are being kids. So they need those points in order to be able to do the traveling and to really partake outside of the walls of Boyz To Kings. So it's not hard for them to get their points. It's just really they need to show up and make sure that they're signing in, because there is a roll sheet there for them to sign in every day, and that's how they actually tally up how many sessions they've been to, how many sessions they've missed.
Gotcha.
And can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
It also holds everybody accountable. It holds our sons accountable for making their sessions. It teaches them responsibility. It holds us accountable as parents with being there and supporting them and learning what they're learning in there. And it holds also the Boyz To Kings team accountable with what they're giving to our sons. So it just holds everybody accountable. That's what the points do for me on a deeper level.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, I think the point system is genius because you talk about some parent involvement, right? So in order for you to go on the trip or to participate in this monthly activity, like you said, they go to professional sporting events or out of town somewhere to Orlando or wherever they're going, but they got to have those parent points in order to be in king status, which gives them the opportunity to go on this trip. So you talk about a child that's going to worry they parent about going to a meeting because they want to get them points.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Jada Show let me know, Mom, it's parent huddle. And that was one of the things I feared the most about Boyz To Kings. I was like, oh, I think that's going to be too much, Coach Merv. This is when my son first started. I think that's going to be too much. He said it's just an hour. And so once I started going, I was like, yeah, Tammy, you was doing too much.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. So my sister said, come on south. So she said, come on down south to South Florida, which is where she is. Coach Merv said, let's go, ladies. You all are killing it. And Mr. Durman, who is in the central Georgia area, he said Boyz To Kings sounds like a phenomenal mentoring organization. Thank you for being here, D. I appreciate you. It is a phenomenal mentoring organization. And these wonderful women are the parents of participants of the organization and are not only benefiting as it relates to their sons being involved, but they are benefiting personally, which has already been mentioned earlier in the show. So we are coming close to the end of our conversation. Is there anything that I missed that y'all want to make sure that we talk about?
Well,
Yeah, so I do want to add this because I know we're talking about how it's benefiting us and everything, but for anybody who's watching, please don't sleep on it. Like,
right.
don't. If you got any boys and they're starting a girls chapter, I'll say this again.
Yeah.
They are starting a girls chapter that starts on Monday, and it's going to be every Monday. But if you have a child that is struggling or you think might be acting out, get them help sooner than later. And this is a phenomenal place to have them if there's a spot available. Because as you can see, Boyz To Kings is getting their recognition. So I will actually just continue to harp on that. Like, I make a 45-minute drive every day in order to get my children to the program. But that's just how serious I am about not losing my boys.
Yeah.
And my daughter, because my daughter is starting on Monday.
Love it.
But this is a program that I swear to you, you won't go wrong.
Right.
There is no money required
Right.
for the boys to participate. So what are you going to lose? A hairdo or a nail appointment? Like, yeah, I reschedule that stuff, but I still get it done. I still make time for me. But when it all boils down to it, we got to make sure that our boys don't become a statistic.
That's right.
Our children don't become a statistic.
Yeah.
Because girls are taking their lives because of bullying and other stuff. So at the end of the day, just make sure that you're getting them the help that they need before it's too late.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Go ahead, Miss Tammy, what you got?
And I just wanted to say this also. I wanted to give a big shout out to all of the wives of Boyz To Kings. I appreciate those wives for lending us mothers, because it's a lot of single mothers in Boyz To Kings. And I appreciate those wives for just lending their husbands to our sons, to help redirect them. It's so appreciative. I try to show them and tell them how much I appreciate them, and now I get to tell you all at the same time. Even some of the team members that might not be team members anymore. There is one, Mr. Wayne Frazier and his wife. Like, I appreciate all of them. People that step up and call and check on my son and really just give him the attention that he needs as a young man. But I specifically want to give that shout out to the wives. I appreciate y'all so much. I do.
Nice. Thank you for recognizing that as well. All right. We do have a few more comments. Miss Lisa said, awesome. Thanks for sharing. Miss Brandy said, Miss Sandra, don't forget Josh has the opportunity to teach through FAMU at BTK. So tell us about that.
So FAMU has partnered with 4 of our boys out of B2K to where they are learning about medical marijuana. And they're going to take that information and go into the schools and teach about what they've learned, teach the right and the wrong, but more about making the right decision.
Okay.
You don't want to, just because somebody got a medical card here in Florida, they think they're going to go to Georgia and
Mm-hmm.
Florida rules is Florida rules.
Right.
But my son is one of the 4 that is partaking with FAMU, and they actually pay the boys a
Mm-hmm.
stipend for educating themselves, learning the material, and teaching it in the community at the
Nice.
different schools.
Nice. Nice. That's excellent. That is excellent. All right. Let's see. We got Cassandra. She said, "Good evening. The Boyz To Kings program here in Tallahassee meet again when again, and are you all taking any volunteers?" All right. So can
They
y'all talk?
meet on Thursdays. Mr. Greg would be the person to Greg or Coach Merv
Okay.
could actually tell you about the volunteers. I'm pretty sure if you want to volunteer, baby, they're not gonna turn the volunteers down. I'm just saying.
They're not gonna turn the
But
volunteers
they
down.
do
Okay,
meet
got it.
on Thursdays
Yeah.
from 6
Okay.
to 7.
All right. Okay. Very good. Thank you for that. And then my mom wanted to know, how is it funded? How is it funded? Do you all know that, or should we get Coach Merv to answer that?
Get Coach Merv to answer because I don't know.
All right.
I
So
say,
Coach
let Coach
Merv.
Merv tell you about them funds now,
All
because
right.
I know it's not funded by the parents. We don't have to pay anything out of pocket. That's not from us.
Gotcha. All right. So Coach Merv just said it's all free to parents. Okay. Ma, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. All right. So Terrell said, "Thank you, ladies, for being active participants in this process with your sons. We often get so busy providing that we can fall short when it comes to showing up." Absolutely. Thank you, Terrell.
Yeah.
And Brittany said, "Yes, thank you, ladies. Awesome." All right. Well, we come to that time. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity to give some closing remarks, and then we will share how folks can connect with Boyz To Kings directly. So we'll start with Miss Tanisha, if you don't mind, just sharing give us some closing remarks. And then Miss Sandra, and then Miss Tammy. Okay.
Okay, so I start by saying that it does take a village. Boyz To Kings is family oriented, it's drama free, and
Yeah.
when you need them, they're there, and the boys are just not a number. They really matter.
All right, very good. Miss Sandra.
I'll piggyback on if you know any. It don't have to be your child that's struggling. If you know or you're related to somebody, just put a little bug in their ear and tell them it's a program out there that's available. Because sometimes we be in denial that our child need help, but get them the help before it's too late.
Love it. All right, Miss Tammy.
And I would say just to not take our word for it. Just not just take our words, but actually try it out for yourselves and see. Get to know some of the people and learn for yourselves what it's all about. They more than happy to let you know all about it.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Well, y'all have said it best. Get involved. Get involved. Boyz To Kings, here's their contact information, the website, the phone number. Please connect with them. If you're interested in starting something where you are, reach out, find out for the one that's in Tallahassee, the place where they meet and how you can get involved. So boys would spell BOYZ to TOKings.com, and the numbers there on the screen. I want to thank you all for being my guest tonight. This has been an outstanding conversation. We appreciate your transparency and your willingness to share your stories with the people. So kudos to you. Keep doing the great work. And y'all, let's keep this conversation going. Let's keep Boyz To Kings going. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
You are so very welcome. For those of you who are new to Conversations with Nicole, I definitely invite you to subscribe to the Conversations with Nicole YouTube channel. We are here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. focused on mental health and wellness in Black and Brown communities primarily. But listen, tonight has been all about our children, our parents, our village, okay? And that's very important. We are, look, sitting in a vehicle doing this show. We in the hotel room doing this show. We at the house doing laundry. We was out power this morning. We still here to do this show, okay? Because this was that important to us tonight,
Yeah.
right? So this is what we are all about. This type of programming, these types of connections. So y'all, please, let's keep this going and let's support one another. Y'all, listen, be safe. We know that Helene is on the way, but we are praying for the best and God will handle the rest.
That's
So,
right.
Thank
indeed.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Oh,
much.
so you're welcome. Y'all be safe and we will see y'all next time. Good night.
Good
Bye.
night.